Hey folks, thank you for joining us here at Aspirant CCG for our week 4 of our 5th season of Hearthstone. Pardon me for being a little distracted, just sending a tweet announcing that we're live. So, hey, I am AnnaJane MTG and I'm here with Rane. How are you doing?
Hi Anna, it's a pleasure to be here again in this nice place and about to see a nice bunch of Hearthstone. It's, as you said, the week 4 of the Aspirant League and things are starting to settle, players are starting to get divided in between, inside the divisions among those who are trying to reach for playoffs and those who are just trying to have their best season possible. So we're just about to see two different ends on that, and you know.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be, and no one needs to be discouraged about their record if it didn't start the right way, because I think having a competitive experience and being able to be casted and broadcasted, that's always a win. So I'm glad that all players are up to this.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, our two matches are going to be on two different spectrums here. This is sort of like the midpoint of our season. We're doing 9 total weeks of round robin division play, and we are a little bit this. The record's going to be a little weird because there's 9 teams in every division, so we do have a bye, and we had like a double up week where they played 2 rounds for week 1. So things might be a little confusing when we look at the records, but our first match is going to be a live match with Pennypacker versus pogosparky, and Pennypacker is 1-3 and pogosparky is 0-3. So, this matchup might be the last. Both players probably need to win out. Yeah, they probably need to win out to make the playoffs. So this is really important for these players to, want to stick around in the league here and keep shooting for that playoff spot. But Pennypacker, I also want to shout out to, does a metagame report on our website every week. So if you go to aspirant.gg, click on articles, latest one is the week 3 meta. Don't have the week 4 meta report up yet, but we'll have that up after the week is over. And there are there's one like really spicy deck that we're gonna see too, which I'm really excited to look at. We had a new class released, and it's Shaman, and it's we don't get to see that very often.
Maybe a meta breaker, who knows?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this one Shaman deck works. So I think we're ready to look at the deck lists.
And we can also start saying and talking about the bans, as we already see here Pennypacker having a curious lineup, as we were talking. The Hunter, which is an aggressive Highlander Hunter with Dynatermer Brand and Lore Keeper Polka. It's just banned. But on the other side, we have 2 aggro decks like Aggro Demon Hunter and Weapon Rogue. And then the meta breaker, the new
Control
Shaman. Control Shaman.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, the Weapon Rogue deck, I'm more familiar with like the more aggro decks, like either Secret or Stealth Rogue. I don't see Weapon Rogue as much. What do you think makes this a choice you would pick over the other 2 Rogue variants?
Well, Weapon Rogue has an advantage that the nerf to Secret Passage didn't hit them so hard, because they just need to have their weapon online. Once they do that, and they can just use Secret Passage for that, and if that's you can do it in 4 mana and then just equip the self-sharpening sword, and that's a good play. So that's one thing that the other rogues kind of suffer a bit more when they were trying to reach for that final damage. And still, this has some stealth package with some stealth minion and the Greyheart Sage as a draw engine also. So we can say it's a hybrid between both two, but has a lot of synergy with the weapons. Green Skin, Cutting Class, Krastinov.
Yeah, I think Cutting Class is another card that really sticks out with Secret Passage being, if you have your weapon up already and you Secret Passage into a cheap Cutting Class that, gives you those extra 2 cards for when you go back to your normal hand at the end of the turn.
Yes, that's definitely something to consider
Mhm.
because sometimes you can cycle like 4 or 5 cards besides the 4 you already get from the passage with a Greyheart Sage with a Cutting Class, and that just turns you into an explosive deck because for the turn following that you will have not only the cards that you are getting back from the secret passage but the new ones you draw that turn. Then
Mhm.
if we just start to bounce to another aggro deck, what do you feel about aggro Demon Hunter? It seems like Soul Demon Hunter was the meta thing, and this is like a different variance for that.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to, kind of just go under all of these more like mid-rangey decks. And being able to present like a faster clock lets them race more with the fast rogue decks, and also try to get under those druid, those like guardian druid,
Mm.
those like taunt minions and whatever. So I think that might be what they're going for here. This looks like the kind of deck that I remember Glide being spoiled and being super excited. This looks like the kind of deck that like Glide would be perfect for.
Yeah.
Why do you think that isn't included here? Because it does
Uh,
work a little bit like Sacred Passage too.
Yes, that's a thing. Call of Gul'dan is a nice draw, a nice draw
Mhm.
mechanic. But since I think that Glide get opt out because 2 Voracious Readers, it's kind of like
Mhm.
a pretty good amount of draw on that side. So
Right.
School of Gul'dan is really important if you also have Altruist the Outcast in order to have cheap cards and just do those savage
Mhm.
combo turns that punish a lot. Not only the board clearing the board but also pushing that face damage, and that's a nice thing to have available.
All right, so let's talk about the Shaman deck
Mm.
because I am so excited for this. Pennypacker is just like I feel like you usually see Bomb Warrior banned. Pogo did bring Bomb Warrior, but is certainly not banned because it looks like the Shaman deck is just tooled to just completely hate on Bomb Warrior. There's 4 anti-weapon cards with 2 Oozes, a Sticky Finger, and a Harrison Jones, as well as the Archivist Elysiana and a copy of Wormus Purifier to get those bombs out of the deck.
Yes, a nice bunch of healing also with 2
Mhm.
copies of Witch's Brew. Then 125 cards for resetting the board, like Earthquake,
Yeah.
Agata Scheme Torrent, Groundkeeper for more healing. Speaker Ghidra, it's a card that I didn't see much in this kind of builds. And
Mhm.
also the new legendary for Shaman, the Instructor Fireheart. That's a nice value card that sometimes in a late game when your hand is not that good, you can make it shine.
Right. One of my pet decks is Highlander Quest Shaman. So, I love playing Fireheart in that deck, and also Tidal Wave is another like card
Mm.
that is new here, and it's both a sweeper and a heal, and it gets better. The more minions. If you wipe out 7 minions with it, it heals you like 20 life. It's really absurd when it's good, and it's another card I've been
Yeah,
playing in Shaman, and it's been really impressive for me.
it's kind of like the true Reno Jacksons in one, right?
Mhm.
You just clear the board, you just reset your health total when the board just works out with that amount of damage. Also, 2 copies of Walking Fountain that
Right.
are good answers and a quick card. The rush and the lifesteal makes it that you can just play it in awkward situations for you when your opponent is pressuring and just buy some time or at least start to stabilize.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm really excited to see the shaman deck for sure. I think we're ready to look at Pogo's decks.
And now we are starting to see what you said. Warrior is open and Druid is banned. One would have thought about Pennypacker that with such a fast decks would want to target Druid, but just just didn't want to at least risk it, no? Because Druid sometimes just wins no matter what you do, no matter what deck you bring, and just leave this, just let this deck apart. I just want to play a bit more Hearthstone on the classic way, but well, he's facing also a tempo match with all that card generation and explosive turns.
Yeah, there's also Highlander Priest here, which I guess my inclination would probably just be ban the Priest, because I think Priest can deal with aggro decks pretty well. But if they have one of their slower draws, they could just get run over. So I'm not too familiar with the different mage builds. I see an elemental allies here, which is something I don't usually see. I usually just see it like pop up off of an evocation, but it looks like it's something that Pogo is looking to actively do.
Yeah, he's trying to use a faster version because he's using Zephyr the Great. And if you include Zephyrs and in your deck, you just want to cycle all the way through and make it active, not just not putting a Bloodfiend Raptor in your deck just on purpose. If not, you just wanna go all the deck down and have some extra value there. Just maybe thinking he could face some aggro decks, or I mean some slow decks, and that would be useful for an extra threat. But still, it kind of seems awkward on that spot because just a card you don't want to see to that late in the game might just not allow you to play your power turns before.
Well, it also gives you it's also an elemental, so even if you get it early and it's not really going to be active and you need the body, it will also help turn on elemental allies. So it's one extra elemental for that card too.
Yes, that's an interesting point that I didn't watch in precision. It doesn't have devolving missiles, which is one of the cards that goes in the place of elemental allies. But since he's not facing Druid, it's not a big deal. Like that's the best card to answer Druid Guardian Animals by far. So it's a nice read on the meta. Then going to the Warrior, it's a Warrior with 2 Skippers, 1 Raider, Armorsmith, and 1 Battle Rage. It doesn't have a lot of cheap minions to activate the risky Skipper, which is sometimes a problem as a difference as what happened before. But it has a Warmore Challenger. That is not some mainstream. I think Language Hacker or Bloody Face last week brought as one or 2 copies on their list to GM. But still, it has some strange or some value cards like the Cobalt Spelking that it's one of the cards that you throw in your decks and sometimes works. It goes in Priest, Mage, Warrior. No, it's a value card that shows that 1-cost spells can be really, really powerful according to their cost.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Wandmaker a lot as well. This just has a really good tempo play. So, to speak to how these 1-mana spells are becoming pretty important in this format. I also noticed the Lord Baroth here, though, which does combo pretty well with Risky Skipper.
Yeah, that's a nice board clear. And also with the Armorsmith if you're under pressure.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, other than that, I think this deck looks like a pretty standard Bomb Warrior. There's 2 copies of Chorus, which is, I'm not sure everybody's running 2 copies of.
It's on the defensive side. But one thing I was wondering if there are no upgrades, but there's a Krastin over there, and there are 2 copies of Cutting Class. So there is kind of like a mixture on that. It's not all the way to bombs, but has some extra removal, as you said, with the cores. Maybe it works out against mid-range decks. Let's see how it works with the drawing mechanic. That is one of the key aspects of the deck.
Yeah, and anything stick out to you about this Highlander? I guess Highlander Galcon Priest, right? There's a pistol boy.
Yeah, that's one thing to start. It doesn't have any weapon removal. So maybe Weapon Row can take advantage of that. It has a Cartel Defender that is not a classic inclusion these days, in at Highlander Priest at least, but might be come handy against all the aggressive decks that
Right.
that Pennypacker is coming. Other than that, the Animated Broomstick, it's a card that started gaining place, and I love it how it works after Murasond, which in this deck we're not seeing.
Oh.
But it can also be used with cheap Drowned Queen Alexstrasza Dragons after putting. But it's so good with Murasond because you can just set the board your opponent did last turn and then give it rush and take the trades. That is so good with a broomstick.
Yeah, I mean, we do see a Plague of Death instead, so maybe that's
Yeah.
the swap that they decided they went with. I think whenever our players are ready, we should be ready to go.
And as we said, this is a game from Division 1, and they are not at the best spot right now, so they desperately need a victory here. as you said, in order to try and go for that I was gonna say jackpot, the wild card spot. It was just another gambling term. The wildcard spot over there and make it to playoffs. Maybe that can be their way. And if not, just learn as much as possible. Take as much from the experience of being of playing this league as possible. That is also something that a lot of players, when they start, they just don't recognize. They can get a lot of knowledge and growth, even when not winning or not performing well. You can just take the next 4 weeks, as we are saying, to improve and test yourself against pretty good players.
All right, so we're going to be ready to start. Just a second here. And all right, so we're starting off with Rogue versus Mage here.
Mage. And I love that self-sharpening sword from Pennypacker. It's the key card for the deck. He would also like some stealth minions and also the draw mechanic, but still it's a good play. And on the other side, pogosparky needs. It doesn't have it has a pretty good hand. The Primordial Studies on 1, trying to set up for a combo with one thief on turn 2, then the cram session with both Primordial Studies. That's a good way to start.
And Pennypacker just getting in there with a turn 1 Sinister Strike. Just, all right, take 3.
Yeah, take 3 even before saying hello. What's that?
What a greeting from Pennypacker. The Thanos lining up really well for that turn 2 Wand Thief. The Thanos off of the Primordial Studies.
Yes, even pogosparky could use the second Primordial Studies in order to combo the One Thief and then keep Thanos for a drawing turn.
Right.
Oh, that partner is huge here.
We probably take the lab partner, right?
It's a card that good that you put it on purpose in your deck, so I guess that would be a nice way to put it. And here, which would you prefer, Brain Freeze or Devolving Missiles?
I think with the stealth, you probably want the Devolving Missiles. Like if Brain Freeze could go, to face, then I think maybe you take that in light of all the weapons, but not here.
Now here, and it's starting to start, right? Just put that weapon online, start hitting. We have the Vulpera, we have the Cutting Class, Captain Grainskin. That is a hand that translates into a lot of damage.
Yeah. Maybe thinking about playing the Toxin Blade to take out this One Thief. Maybe that's the delay here. But I'm not,
That's interesting. Since you don't have anything to play next turn, just take advantage of the effect right now and taking the 1/2. That could have been a choice. I think the breaking point on this is how cheap can you make that Cutting Class cost next turn. Next turn you can just play them for 0. So I guess that's how Pennypacker is planning to take their turn.
yeah.
But talking about draws,
Yeah. We got Cram Session here for a nice draw 3 after playing those 2 spell damage minions.
and look
Very
how many cheaper spells does pogosparky have in hand. He's only one Sorcerer's Apprentice away from just shooting fireworks there.
Right. And even coin into Raz would do 3 damage in case,
Whoa,
like
yeah.
the Toxin Blade or the which is probably gonna come down, right? Like you imagine you'd go Toxin Blade here, attack Cutting Glass. And if you go face and you don't touch these minions, that Raz can take it out.
That I was not expecting that. If he took the other order, he could have Pennypacker could have played the copy of Poison Blade. Still, only 2 charges. That's one thing that might not be the best thing when you have the second self-sharpening sword in your hand. But still, it's something that could have been elaborate. And now, as you said, pogosparky trying to step up and trying to just pressure also.
Yeah, that was a huge tempo turn for Sparky there, but like Pennypacker can also just swing right back with this sap.
That's interesting. It's a nice tempo gain because you're using only 2 mana to get rid of a 5 mana card, and you're still pushing face damage. The thing is how we complete the turn, because you don't want to play maybe a Dread Corsair into a second or into a new Raz on turn 5, but still, if your opponent only does that, you still have time to keep on pressuring face.
Yeah, so Pennypacker starts off with the Deadly Poison into a free Cutting Class. Got a couple more cards to see what we want to do this turn.
No backstab, so no backstab in his deck, so there's not an answer in order to kill that Raz. And now it's going just face.
And we got that free Dread Corsair and probably a Spy Mistress. No. Because we know about Rats, right?
Yeah, and you want to, even though you have the secret passage, you want to just try and keep it for the Greyheart Sage in order to just do not gas out.
Right.
And talking about gas, how much cards that pogosparky has in his hand, even an evocation over there that could mean a new hand of spells it has to choose right now. What do you think would be better, a new Raz in this turn and just trying to chill, or going and trying to look something else?
I don't think Raz is going to do it because I think we really need to find a Sorcerer's Apprentice here.
And some even if you find some mirror images, that would be awesome here, because you're facing an aggro deck which most of the damage comes from the hero. So in that way you're just gaining time, and that's what you need to set up a counter lethal maybe, because pogosparky has gotten the tempo on the board from the first turn with that one thief with the minions that came afterwards, but not able to capitalize that onto face damage.
Greenskin coming down here, getting an extra hit off of that huge sword. So we're putting Pogo to 9.
And now that is one off lethal for next turn, and with a secret passage in hand, we might have a quick game 1.
It's be interesting to see what Pogo does here to try to, pretty much need some sort of taunt here, I think.
Let's see. He could play Raz, but that wouldn't protect him from the weapon damage. But on the other side, okay, these arcane missiles are pretty good. They're almost guaranteed to clear because they're 5, and you just need to hit once.
Yep. There it
I'm
goes.
wondering if he's going for some kind of lethal. Oh, such a shame.
Let's play the giant, right? And just threaten lethal next turn. Like, you gotta do that. You gotta find one more damage and kill me.
Yep. Let's see if Pennypacker gets it.
That's
That is not, and he will have 4 draws in order to close the game.
You think me? There's Eviscerate. Okay, that'll do. I was gonna
Shiny
say,
card. Give me shiny card. And also a crusty knob was there also in order to just bump that weapon one more. And this was a close one.
right. I think. Do you think you play a stealth minion there for 1 before the secret passage? You know, we see that Greyheart Sage, and you think maybe if we miss, you get 2 more looks, but didn't matter there. But might have been a consideration.
It's a consideration. The thing is, if you play the stealth minion, then another 3 mana for the sage. How much mana do you have left in order to execute the lethal? Maybe the outs over
3
there
mana.
were not as such. Oh, with 3 mana, that was good enough.
Yeah.
And then that might be a better percentage play on that finding lethal.
Yeah, well, I mean, congrats to Pennypacker for the quick win there. You know, just we saw how effective those weapon synergies and cost reduction were for the Dread Corsair and cutting class. And for Pogo, I think like if Ross didn't get sapped, I think that game plays out a bit differently, right?
Definitely, because he would have had a lot of pressure on that turn with the rogue only doing damage from face. We need to just be clear on this. Besides that, four damage from the beast rate, how much did that self-sharpening short deliver there? Because not only the weapon charges, it was upgraded by poisonous, then by also he could play Captain Greenskin. So those extra hits were super big, and that's the importance of having the weapon on curve. You can deliver so much more damage there, and that's, I think, was the key for the matchup, because Pogosparky was not playing slow. He was on the board. He was pressuring. He needed just one more turn.
Yeah, I mean, even if they had a Sorcerer's Apprentice, they would have been able to, kind of match all that extra mana that Pennypacker was able to do.
Yeah, I agree on that, and also try to discover some utility tools, some like Frostbolt to freeze phase, mirror image as we speak on during the game, that in order to prevent some hits, that would have been pretty good also. And Cyclone always just tricks you when you're playing against it, so that might have been the card that Pogo was missing.
Right. Yeah. Even an ice barrier to get getting 8 more armor just cancels one of those big hits from that sword.
Yes. Yes,
Right.
that's an interesting way of thinking, because that's the only defensive secret with utility in this matchup, because the Flame Warden was just, there were never minions in play for Pennypacker.
Yeah, they always died.
Yeah,
They never actually got to attack. That was all face. 29 points of face damage.
And that's one thing to look out for in these matchups, which sometimes the decks are slow. We talk about Druid, that sometimes the first turns are a bit slow, but you can exploit Druid by throwing minions on the board. This deck does not do that consistently, so that's why maybe Pennypacker choose to ban Druid, and now we're gonna see game number 2, Pennypacker against Pogosparky. Now an aggro Demon Hunter with a nice and important card already in hand, Voracious Reader.
Yeah, of course. And those 2 Marasizers, I'm assuming, are going to go back. At least one of them for sure, but it's just one of the one of the highest cards on the curve. Probably just want to get some cheap stuff, especially to take advantage of that Voracious Reader. And like being on the coin helps as well. Just getting an extra card out of your hand, putting more pressure on the board, and being able to eventually draw more with that reader. Pogos.
Yeah, I agree on that. And I was gonna ask, do you keep the Armor Smith in this matchup?
I guess so.
Because it's your opponent will just endlessly try to throw things at you, and having already the Armor Smith online to just try and activate it with maybe with the skipper draw after Ankar, that might be a way of putting online. And whoa, that's an aggressive start without a clear turn 2 play. What do you think about this?
I mean, I think Penny, does have that Voracious Reader, so maybe just putting some pressure on early is the matchup.
Well, yeah, the Voracious Reader would not draw if you played this turn, but on the other hand, you have Skull of Gul'dan already on hand, and also there's no way for your opponent to solve this board in turn 2, so you're guaranteeing at least 4 damage, and that's a good thing, as you said, putting pressure. And now is the time to think if you play or not around Blade Storm.
Right. And it looks like Pennypacker is not going to, or is going to play around it and just attack.
Yeah.
And not play that Metal Fiend. So
yeah, that
play here.
Yeah, nice read over there. And now maybe that top deck was a nice thing for pogosparky. He gets to save the Bladestorm, he gets to develop and also respond at the same time, and also enable the ranged caliber to hit whatever he wants, not only just a town minion.
Yeah, also, could line up a nice Armor Smith Bladestorm on turn 5. Now that there's a second minion on the board, doubles the armor gain.
Well, that's an interesting line of play. Yep. This turn you have Ranged Caliber trying to sit up and start clearing the board. Pennypacker's hand does not seem to work out. You have a lot of draw. You're not getting the early pressure what you need, and that is what you need in this particular game. Because sometimes you just can aggro down Bomb Warrior. Not with this hand, I guess.
And that Intrepid, I forgot the second. The Intrepid Initiate doesn't have anything to turn it on either.
Yeah, that's a good turn 1 on the coin, but besides that, it's not very good. And now we're Skipper Armorsmith Battle Rage. This is just how just many warriors have we seen doing this?
And that Skipper letting that trade happen too, getting that half the damage you need.
Now Bomb Warrior can start and think itself as the aggro play right now. Has the board, has the tools to follow up with the Krastinov on curve, with the Ankar if he needs to draw some more pirates, the Horde Pillager for developing a minion on top of putting a weapon in play. And this kind of hurts. Pennypacker didn't need to deviate 4 damage to a minion in order to avoid more armor being gained.
Right. Yeah, also those bombs start to add up once you start playing spells. Like not only do they damage you, but then they also mess up the mana reduction too.
That's a good analysis. Not only the bombs, the interaction over there is if Pennypacker draws a bomb with the Skull of Gul'dan, it won't have the next card he draws a buy the bomb will not have the mana reduction. It happens the same with soul fragments. So now
Right.
we have two soul fragments and two bombs. There's a
Yep.
well
That's one.
nice chance for starting losing the reduce from the.
So that Bone Chewer Brawler is not discounted. Still costs 2 mana. We still have the Og Merchant. Can kind of take out the Skipper, I guess.
Yes, having the Bonjour Brawler in hand, you sometimes want to think if you want to use it as a removal tool or as a way to set up a board. But yes, I kind of like not getting too behind in this game. Because the warrior just has with time it finds the tools in order to keep on clearing the board and keep on swinging face.
Right. Now we're up to 4 bombs in the deck for Pennypacker. The Horde Pillager getting a fresh Wrench Caliber. And there's only 1 Soul Fragment in there, so definitely.
That is the problem with Pennypacker is that there's not a clear way of closing the game. It has done like a nice. It has put his opponent to 17, which is pretty good health total to just try to push for lethal. But still, it doesn't have that many cards in hand. Now it's going for that with the Voracious Reader finally. And then also outcasting the School of Gul'dan for next turn. Maybe if he finds Altruist, that could work.
Ooh, that mana burn is really good here. Being able to block both Blastmaster Boom and Galakrond. Not sure if Boom was what you want here, but Galakrond giving 5 armor might have been really helpful.
Yeah, you were under a bit of pressure to to do Galakrond, but on the other hand, with the armor gain and the shield slam, you can start stabilizing because you could just take away that Bonjour Brawler, trade with the face, trade with a minion, and after that you will just not under the same pressure as before. Even though you lose your hero power for armor up, you're the aggressor in the game, and you're not far away from closing. Just remember what you said last turn: 4 bombs in Pennypacker's deck.
Yeah, I think that would have given Pogo the tempo swing he needed for that, but unfortunately not. Now we're just going to see a full board clear with Lord Parov and Bladestorm. Just leaving that 3/1 Barov. So we got 5 bombs for Pennypacker now. And we did not hit a bomb, hit another Twin Slice. So Skull's coming, there's a bomb.
9 health.
There's another bomb.
Another bomb. Watch out over there. Pennypacker, why are you hitting yourself? Please stop. Please stop. Stop hitting yourself, Pennypacker. What have you done?
Pogo wins.
That is why the bombs add up. Sooner than later they appear, and 15 damage in 1 turn. And it was not the aggressor's turn, it was the opponent's turn.
Yeah, and the Skull of Gul'dan, even if Penny was at 30, only one of those cards would have been discounted. It's just so it's so rude. Jeez. I was really excited. I really wanted to see the Shaman versus Bomb Warrior. I'm sad that Pogo wasn't there.
And now is when you ask yourself if you brought that deck specifically to target Bomb Warrior, and you end up losing with one of the other decks to Bomb Warrior, how effective it is. We have seen that this strategy on Masters Tours and also in Grandmasters, and it hasn't been that effective since Shaman just concedes a lot of percentage points on win rate to most of the matchups in order to be decent enough counter of Bomb Warrior.
Do you think Penny was thinking that Pogo would bring Tempo Mage again? Maybe that's why we brought Aggregate 100 there? expecting your opponent
Yeah,
to stay on the deck they lost with, and then Pogo sort of does like the next level of like, well, I don't think you're going to bring Shaman next, so I'm going to bring my Warrior when I think you're going to bring Demon Hunter, right?
It might be the case, but still, if I'm the Shaman player, I just wanna never just miss that matchup. I would just queue from game one with Shaman, just
You
to
just play
make sure
Shaman
I
every
face the bomb warrior. Because if not, the way conquests work with you needing to win with all your decks, if one of your deck is only good with against one of your opponents, that makes your lineup vulnerable for that deck just going away and just getting a win against one of your other decks. And that is kind of like a shame for Pennypacker that loses that chance. And we'll see. Maybe that Shaman it's also good against Priest. I don't see how, or Mage
I mean,
that has defense tools enough to just counter it.
yeah, I guess if the Priest deck, if the Priest matchup goes to fatigue, that Elysiana could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, but on that side, the priest with Galakron has like infinite resources. It
Not
might be a long game, but I guess that hero power makes a difference.
well, time is not an infinite resource.
Well, that is true.
Time is
And also the priest doesn't work well while pressuring. You know, it's not a deck designed to do that and to shorten the games. Much on the contrary, on the other side. So
right.
maybe that might be a matchup that the shaman will have a better chance. We'll see how the third game works because we already have one win for each of the players. And remember, today we're gonna have a second series showcasing. So stay tuned. Don't think because one match is over, the broadcast is over.
All right. So I really want to see Shaman versus Priest now. I
I'm
don't
not
care if we're here
sure.
all night.
How long are we gonna stay here? Just watch out for that. We might be here until tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it all depends.
Okay, so we're just about to start the third game of the night. We thank all the guys that are watching, and just if you want to see more content, not only Hearthstone but Magic, also you can just leave the follow to the channel and just in order activate notifications in order to be alert whenever we go live. And now we are live with game number 3. What did you want to see, Anna?
Yes, I wanted to see this. I'm excited. Although all those
Oh,
weapon cards are going to be pretty bad,
mm,
to be
yeah,
fair. Like that's a nice 5
definitely.
mana 4/4 for Pennypacker.
Exactly. And on the other side, Sparky has a nice opening hand. With a raised dead over there, it would be like the dream hand. You just throw the Disciple, just Zephyrs for ramp, and then whenever it gets clear, you can just get another Galakron
So
Discipline and another Zephyrs.
I'm really excited that we got the Elysiana in our hand because now the Purifier isn't going to get rid of it.
We're just okay.
Right?
We're just safe on that side.
So that Sticky Finger, Harrison Jones, and the second Swamp Ooze would all get turned into random shaman spells.
And that will
Think that's what
happen
they're doing.
right now.
If they didn't,
Random shaman cards.
if they didn't draw that Swamp Ooze that turn, that would have been another spell in the deck. So kind of sad to draw your Bloodfin Raptor when it could have been.
That's right. And this matchup specifically. Okay, let's start and trying to track which cards are from the deck and which cards are not. Pennypacker has a devolving missiles, which is nice against Priest with all the resurrect effects they have. Well, they not much, but still, raise dead.
Right. Yeah, I love giving them a clunker. When when you get to play, Magfaradon or something like that
Oh yeah.
against against Priest, then the erased dad to get 2/1/3s. I love it.
Yeah, and and also when you throw it against Bacteria, the devolving missiles are 4 mana 12/12, reduce it into a 1/1. That was not what I was hoping
Oh,
for.
love it. So we have a wretched reclaimer, I believe. Is that the thing that destroys like adjacent minions, adds it to your?
Yeah, I think it's the it destroys a friendly minion and brings it back to life.
Oh right, no, yeah, I was thinking of the I was thinking of the warlock card, right? All the
Yeah, it like it's a void something. Yeah, it's also a 3 mana 3/3 by the way.
there's one of our cards, a feral spirit. It's one of our
Hmm.
cards from the purifier.
We started seeing some tempo tools, and they're pretty much what it was needed. And right here, the Pennypacker doesn't trade. Besides, not mattering that he's giving the opponent a value trade with that 3/3, and
Mhm.
that might be a bit punished. Here, even with the, do you throw the broomstick?
It looks like
That's a
they are, yeah.
that's a lot of tempo for the priest to throw. The only problem I see with this is how consistent is the priest deck in order to keep on building the pressure. Because the shaman deck is pretty consistent on clearing boards for what we've seen on the deck list. That's why I'm not that sure this was like the play to go for. But still, it's something you do with your mana, trying to push and trying to get some resources. And talking about resources, Cobalt Spell King, some renews in hand.
Yeah, we got a Wave of Apathy and an Inner Fire. Not cards that we really want to see here. Definitely, there's a lot more impactful stuff you could get. You know, the Renew, like you mentioned, another Draconic Studies, but all right. So
No,
we have a spell thing. What I my brain.
yeah, it's some.
So
Well,
yeah.
that tutor makes 2 damage to all other minions over there,
Mhm.
so it was not the best result, the best outcome for either
Yeah,
Pennypacker or pogosparky, because pogosparky wants to play some spells here, and now will just start clearing its own board.
it's a good target for that Inner Fire too.
Well, yeah,
And with that Sethic, we were able to get a bonus spell. We got a Psyche split there.
and this is nice. Putting the pressure
Somewhat of
like setting two different targets for the shaman to like to remove that that makes a bit of pressure, but still you know that there is some devolving missiles on the other side.
right. But we still get our Sethic going. We still get our card. Like we get to trade our Inner Fire in for a random spell and put a little more pressure on the board, as well as clear.
Mhm.
So it's that even in light of the devolving missiles, it still seems pretty decent. Getting that Serpentine portal off of the uh,
Hmm.
Marsh spawn clears up that Zephyrus, and now we have a
Now we can reduce our Elysiana. But well, what is happening here? How did I just blinked and the priest pushed 17 damage some way? What
right.
what happened? I was not just even thinking about the shaman health total because it's just priest. It's harmless, but still it's not setting up lethal. But it's going for it. He has Kronks in hand for some 5 extra damage over there also. We need to watch out.
Yeah, that torrent is going to be really nice here for cleaning up the 5/5. But what else? Do we just play? I don't think we play Gidra yet. I think we just hero power. Hope for. Well, we got a Wrath of Air Totem. That's not. That makes those Hagatha schemes a little better.
I was thinking, what spells are good with Ghidra in this deck? because Ghidorah is best with high cost spells in order to that spell burst increase their stats in a significant way. But if we think, most of the expensive spells on the Shaman are board clears and symmetrical. They're just clearing both boards, so
Right.
that is kind of like an anti-synergy over there.
I mean, I think it's still a decent tempo card.
Yeah, against some aggressive matchups, just a
Yeah,
1/4, and you
like
throw a devolving missiles, you just turn into a
the rate
2/5.
isn't bad at all.
Oh, we can play Elysiana right
So
now.
Luciana, well, I mean, that doesn't do much, right? We don't have a dragon for that lightning breath, which is, I mean, that's not a card that we actually put in our deck, so I guess that makes sense. That's the second card from Wormrest Purifier.
And what is the out here? Devolving missiles into Agatha's scheme? That scheme, I think it does 5 to the board.
Well, we do have spell damage. I don't know if you're counting that.
Oh, okay, 6. It might do 6.
If we lightning breath plus scheme would clear then if it does 6.
Let's see. That's
3 damage, so we let Kronks live.
Oh, and this
Keep the others.
this is lethal.
Zephyrus is gonna be lethal.
This is gonna be.
around
Who would have thought? A priest
Wow.
delivering lethal damage by turn 9 against a control deck. 2020 is it's a particular year. We kind of get to say that, right?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna be here not as long as I thought.
Yep.
Kind of came out of nowhere there. I mean, I guess it depends on what that other scheme was at. If that scheme was only doing 5, then I think that's all that we could do. Right?
Right, because it was draw. I think it was draw 3 turns before. I cannot say for sure, but regarding the cards in hand for Pennypacker there, it might be the so. But if it didn't get played, it's probably doing 5 damage. And if you're doing 5 and not killing Kronks, you just as well do 3 and do the same exact play.
It's I kind of just want to go back to that turn 3 and that choice to not attack with that Swamp Ooze and trade. Maybe if that doesn't happen, you
start stabilizing.
Yeah, you can devolve that so they don't get the thing, they don't get the ooze when Karj dies, and then that might.
Yeah, it felt that like the tempo part of the game started going in favor of the priest after that execution, because that giving a priest a value trade is it's really hurtful for you, because they can use their hero power and bring and just make another value trade the turn after. It's just so powerful over there. And well, you can say that the shaman was a deck that would have been able to handle the priest the priest minions in play, but on the other hand, pogosparky found the right cards for the right time. Galakrond on curve, Kronks to follow it after, Zephyrus in hand for lethal. That is also one thing we need to say. Like those are the 3 most powerful cards for the turns 1 to 8. So he had them and he took advantage of that.
Yeah, even just getting that 3-mana 3/3 off of the Disciple, just being able to play that on curve, and then turn 4 being able to play Karj into Broomstick, just really swinging the tempo in the matchup.
And also the low roll on the portal, right? They got Pennypacker got a 3 cost minion that it was just a dormant minion.
Dormant
no
for 2
impact in the deck.
Just discounted a card in hand that made no impact at all.
Right.
So, all right. Well, Pogos needs a win with Tempo Mage. So let's see
if he can deliver that. I really like seeing Tempo Mage's games, since they look No game seems like another one. There's a lot of complaints by the created by for the player side, and I understand that. But from the viewer side, watching games that are completely different, even with the same deck, is it's something nice to watch, and we're about to see that. How will this tempo mage work against an aggro demon hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pennypacker wants to get off to a quick start here. I don't know. Definitely keep the Battlefield. Not sure about the other two.
Yes, the Marrow Slicer is, as we said, is kind of like a top end of the curve for this particular deck. So let's see how this early minion pressure will be tolerated by pogosparky.
Right. Able to start off with the Spellwing. Just kind of gets that on the board, but the Arcane Missiles that comes out is going to be really nice.
That is true, and with a lab partner, they might be able to clear some minions. That Ray of Frost also is a good draw. The hand for pogosparky just again as it happened in game one, it's just one Sorcerer's Apprentice away from just popping off.
Do you go face with that attack instead? Because I mean, I don't think the Violet Spellwing is like really threatening on its own. I think it's better because it gives you an Arcane Missiles. So I think do you think it's better to just go face?
The only thing I start and think is how those arcane missiles, how much health I'm tossing up the board, and how that helps me keeping minions alive. And that trade that the violet that the minion could do would reduce the amount of health in board, and also, but on the other hand, it would have less targets for the arcane missiles to hit. So it was like an even decision.
Okay.
When do you think the mana burn is a good play in this particular matchup?
I don't know.
I tend to think whenever you see your opponent set up a Cyclone or Apprentice turn,
Right.
it could be. I would like to see it in turn 4 maybe, and now protecting that Battle Fiend with Guardian of Merchant. But still, it's a close play, because now with the Ray of Frost, he needs to use the coin and lose some tempo over there.
Yeah.
Isn't there a world where you only freeze that? No, right? You always
if you
just
really want to
eliminate
save the coin, right? If you really want to save the coin, I don't know if that's something that we'd want to do, but.
And Pennypacker, it's
The Og Merchant
in a
looking
crossroad right now. Do you want a 2-1 on board, or do you want a 2-1 on board? Is that the question?
I mean, I think you want the extra card in the hand, right? You don't want to do it right now.
Yeah, at least until next turn, because next turn you could argue that it helps outcasting School of Gul'dan, but right now it does not do anything.
Right.
And Scream Session starting to power up pogosparky's deck, and those devolving missiles are so good against any aggro deck. It turns the boards into 1/1s.
I mean, yeah, this is. Do you like? I guess you could have traded the Battle Mage here and then shoot down the lab partner. That would open up the Skull of Gul'dan for Outcast next turn.
Yes, it's not a nice play. It's not what you want to do, being an aggro deck on turn 5, but it's what you can do right now. So I guess, and also the mana burn is not as bad as it seems, because before you wanna try and hold your opponent, so you can use School of Gul'dan without being punished, without being under pressure, or without letting a whole turn for your opponent to develop. And this turning 5 mana into 3 mana, it's good, it works. But still, Astromancer Solarian in place that leaves pogosparky ahead on board.
And we're probably gonna get a Ray of Frost here, I'd imagine.
Yes, definitely. I agree on you with that. Because this is no Soul Demon Hunter. It can deliver damage from the face with the Marrow Slicers, but it's not as much as the other version. It uses a lot of minions, and if you freeze the minions and use that in order to develop your game, that buys you a lot of time. pogosparky still is missing some key cards, something to pressure, because the mage deck cannot just control the Demon Hunter forever.
Yeah. So probably gonna attack this thing down so we have a good target for the merchant again.
Let's see. Yeah, the merchant is just more of a removal tool. It's a nice card because it's flexible. You can just give your minions some more health. Oh well, that grass top deck, it's amazing.
Oh my god, just killing most of Pennypacker's board, freezing that Blade Fiend, and yeah, that's...
And also, you already saw your opponent use one Skull of Gul'dan and did not had like an explosive turn after that.
Right.
And the first turn were not such a great amount of pressure, so pogosparky has still 20 health points, and that's... I don't want to say comfortable, because against Demon Hunter you're never comfortable, but it still is something that you can work on. You have time to draw, you have the ability of freezing the board, as we said before. So this looks pretty nice for what is happening. And look at this Ras will hit again next turn and will clear the board.
Yeah, so much respect for Ross there, but I mean, I don't think Penny can really win through an active Ross.
Yes, it will take 2 turns, but it needs to be solved there, because you said the whole deck dies to Ross. Whoa. What do you get here? Value from Power of Creation? Tempo from Power of Creation, or value from Evocation?
I take the Evocation. Maybe not.
It's close, because Evocation is a fast card, but it's a bit more... It's a bit random. You cannot control what you're getting. And in this spot where you're ahead on board, maybe trying to push that advantage further with the Power of Creation and trying to close the game seems legit for pogosparky. I agree on his point of view, and I understand why he's doing. And now we see that Pennypacker is just hopeless. That Marrow Slicer cannot even deliver face damage this turn because Ras was on play. And now what? Just choose your fighter.
All right, so 2 Karen Bloodhoofs. Oh god. Oh.
Okay, if this is a nightmare for a control deck, imagine for an aggro deck. How you solve this? You're in no position for going for a race to lethal, and you're just you're facing lethal yourself on board, because there is 10, and with a hero power it's just lethal, and there's nothing to do for Pennypacker, and the game ends right here. pogosparky, I like how he played. I like that aggressive playstyle, even with mage, and understanding where to push and be aggressive and take the initiative there. It was a nice way to put. We might just give him a bit of credit over there by drawing Ras on the exact turn. It was so good and useful.
Perfect draw that turn. Oh my god. Ugh. What do we do with that, Ross?
What do we do? And it also worked as a way to prevent damage, because the Demon Hunter had to sink 6 damage into that, so it was 6 damage not going into face. That's also an important thing to mention on this game. And now pogosparky gets a first win on the board for the Division A. As we said, this this season so we have 5 divisions, 9 players in each division, which makes 8 weeks of competitions, 8 matches at least, because we're having some weeks with double matches, and you will be able to find all that information in aspirant.gg on the Hearthstone section of the webpage, and you can just follow not only these players but all the players, the results, the decks they're using. So it's a nice way for information, and also, as you said, some meta reports from Pennypacker, and maybe you find that shaman, that crazy shaman, in order to punish the bomb warriors.
Yeah, I can't wait to fire that up on ladder. I'm really excited about that deck, even though it didn't look very good in that one game, but whatever. I mean, I'm nowhere near legend, so I don't care. So yeah, if anyone else is interested in joining when we have our next season, probably in a couple months from now, we have our Discord. The link is in the bio below. You can also follow us on Twitter at Aspirant CCG, and we have a YouTube page as well where you can see all of our past archive streams. We have a Magic League as well featuring women and women, non-binary, and like any other marginalized genders are welcome to play in, and it's they have a wonderful league. Like, their league is growing, very competitive. Magic Arena. They have a stream on Friday nights, so that's going on at 9 p.m. on Friday. So if you play Magic, you can tune in for that as well.
Yeah, a good way off. Just in case if you're like me that you don't do very well with time zones, and or even remembering just times for schedules or appointments, you can just leave the follow and activate the alerts on the channel in order to be notified when the channel goes live, and you don't miss any of the action either from Hearthstone or from MTG. So you're welcome to that. We appreciate your support, and we thank all the guys on chat also. Just rooting, and the raid from Dragon Derek that came with his party and join us in this nice Hearthstone night.
All right, so our second match is going to be between Otsuna and MokraniChile.
Okay, I might say that I know Mokrani. He's a tough play. He qualified for different Master Tour events. He's one of our, as we said, Legion Latam players, and he's a tough guy to beat. But on the other hand, if we check the scores, well,
Mhm.
Otsuna, it's not an easy opponent either.
Yeah, Otsuna is 4-0 so far in the season. Mokrani is 3-0. So Mokrani had their bye already, but
Mm.
both players are undefeated. So one of them is going to pick up their first loss in this match.
Mm. So I know one of the players will just start to relax a bit and think about playoffs in a different way without that much pressure, even though it's just halfway through. Well, what better way to be halfway through that on top of the league of this season of Aspirant. Remember, these players are not just playing for honor. There are big prizes on the line. We've seen hundreds of dollars handed out last season, and now this not different. This is a league that it's highly competitive, but I encourage any player that wants to be competitive. That's a nice test to be in, as Anna said before. The next season will be starting a couple months from now, but still, it's a nice way for proving yourself. And your objective at first might not be winning, but just test yourself in order to see what level you are, and also to face some good players, and that way step up your gameplay.
Yeah, it's we have a lot of great new players this season. We expanded from 4 to 5 divisions, and it's always exciting to see more people join. So I think we're ready to look at these decks.
Okay, we already see the Druids band in this match, and no warriors. First for Mokrani, we have what we can say. I don't want to say an aggressive lineup, is because the problem with Demon Hunter is what kind of deck is. we say Soul Demon Hunter, right? It's not an aggro deck, but still, it's turn 5 and you're just trying to set up 2 or 3 turn lethals. And on the other side, the Rogue, well, has some value from the Shadow Jeweler Hanar and secrets, but still, it also sometimes it gets a questing adventure 8/8 by turn 4, and we cannot say that's not an aggro way of winning the games. I'm not sure how to call this, but we're gonna see some explosive matchups for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rogue just I think most rogues just kind of fall into like a tempo category. Like you're just
Hmm.
trying to other than that, like weapon rogue is just super aggro. Everything else just feels like, either you have like the fast draws or sometimes you have like a slower draw, but you have like a lot of synergy that gets you cards and lets you play like a long game. It all depends. But the Demon Hunter deck is, the Soul Demon Hunter. It's fun. We have a Horde Pillager in there, which is a card I don't
Yeah.
see that gets a Marrow Slicer back. We don't have any Umber Wings to mess with that, right?
No, it helps with also Aldrachi Warglaives when you're facing
Yeah.
some aggro decks, and that life gain that is that life steal that is so important against maybe Hunter, aggressive Hunter, that is not a just tier 1 meta deck, but still it sometimes in the conquest format finds the way out and try to punish some a bit slower decks. I like this Demon Hunter. It has Magtheridon on it. That is a card that sometimes is flexible. Sometimes you use Magtheridon, and other times you use Altruist. Also, the consume magic is a silence in order to just bypass taunts or even just draw cards against slower decks. I like that also, and it's besides that, it's a nice and consistent deck list from what we see maybe every weekend on Grandmasters or in Tier 1 competitions, and also probably and here when players do not choose to go with the aggro version of Demon Hunter.
Yeah, the other two decks are Tempo Mage, and they have like the Secret Rogue, which I already talked about briefly. Like, there you see a couple variations of Rogue, either like Stealth or Secret, and we'll see that the only real difference between these two lineups is the choice of Rogue deck, because both of them are playing Soul Demon Hunter, and both of them are playing Tempo Mage.
Yes, and on Tempo Mage, we find a Cobalt Spell King over there. That is a card that has been on the center of some talking, because some players say no, the dragon version does not work. You cannot you cannot afford to put a bad card in order to have some extra value because it's a tempo mage after all. Another player says, well, that Cobalt Spell King allows me to have some extra spells in order to use my first spells without losing the possibility of then comboing with the Mana Cyclone or the maybe Chimbala. Those are like the two lines of thoughts, and I'm not sure which side I'm in. Maybe if we see the mage win, one will say that I always just said Cobalt Spelling was the best card for mage. And if you lose, I just flip all the way around and say, no, you cannot use Cobalt Spelling in mage. It's not a good card.
So you're saying that you're very results oriented.
Yeah, I'm flexible. I'm open minded. I would like to say that.
All right, so let's look at Otsuna's lists.
And as you said, it's somewhat the same classes and kind of like the same decks. I'm just trying to remember. I think
Sure.
the Demon Hunter is card for card the same deck.
It looks like it. Looks like it to
Yeah.
me. The Rogue is guy mentioned the Rogue is the stealth version. We have Infiltrated Lillian, as well as Sticky Delinquent, Greyheart Sage, etc. There's a flick on the top end.
Yes, a flick on the top end in order to just make your matchup better against Turtle Mage. But still, it's kind of a clunky card. And the Mage also, it seems to be the same list because it
Yeah,
has Cobalt Spelking as Mokrani. So we're gonna see some mirror matches. And the difference is the Rogue, and I'm not sure how it works. I I kind of want to say that the rogue, the aggro, this version is a bit fast, a bit is faster than the secret version, and that might be useful against mage. I'm not sure how it work against demon hunter without that lifesteal they can get with the Alderachi Warglaves and Soul Lapidary and all that ways for them to increase their attack and just make a huge tempo swing on life and steel. So I'm not sure, but I'll be glad to see how this works. The thing is, he keeps bringing Van Cleef and Questing Adventure besides being a stealth rogue. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think I think those cards can just be so good if they're unanswered that I think it's really hard to bring a rogue deck without them. Just to be perfectly honest, I don't see what we're like cutting here generally for that, but it lets you play a little bit longer game. Plus, flick is something that you might not see at the top end of some of the more aggressive secret or stealth rogue decks, right?
Yeah, right. It's that Infiltrator Lilian. It's kind of a nice card against control. It's not as fast as you like against other decks. Some players are starting to cutting it for some Hookshot Scimitar, the weapon, because it's kind of the same thing. It's 8 damage, but it's faster. So that might come in handy in some matchups. We'll see. I really like the inclusion of cool Neophyte on both decks on Rogue. Because if you're facing Mage, if you're facing Druid, well, Druid got banned, but still, if you're facing even Demon Hunter, they run a lot of spells. So it's a nice tempo tool in order to make your opponent's hands clunky enough for you to gain some extra tempo in and just translate that into face damage.
Yeah. All right. So this match is pre-recorded. So we're going to be starting the match. We are had a little bit of a problem with recording. So like we missed a couple discovers early on, but I think it gets sorted out pretty quickly on.
Yeah,
So,
we'll just figure it out. Don't
right?
worry about that. And we are starting the first match with Mokrani playing we were talking about Van Cleef and adventures, and when you have preparation, we have the coin, we have the glyph. I mean,
It's
this
super. Yeah.
this is just Rogue 101, right? Make a 8/8 Van Cleef turn 2. Doesn't matter what metagame are you playing. It just works.
Yeah, apologize for the crop on the hand for Otsuna there. Little whatever.
You can still make it bigger, right? That
Yeah,
vendetta, that grandmummy activating the vendetta is
my God.
such a powerful play, and we see Panthara, we see the Blade Dance. Wow, I'm amazed that we didn't see a Van Cleef turn right now.
I think maybe drawing the questing does it. Maybe that changed.
But I mean, questing goes one way, and Van Cleef goes another way. With questing, you wanna develop and then play cards. With Van Cleef, you wanna just do it.
Right.
He's doing it right now. I'm not sure why not doing it the previous turn. I mean, now it's
well,
it's what?
We would have had a 10-10 last turn, right? Because we
yes, we and not only a 10-10, but last turn it would have hit for 10 on turn 3. That's something I'm not sure about. Maybe he wanted to keep the coin in order, as you said, to fuel the questing adventure. But I'm not sure. That doesn't seem that good. I mean, bigger, better, faster, better. That's how we play Hearthstone.
I mean, how does Otsuna deal with it? Like, you take a longer turn, you're able to open up for have the Marrow Slicer. We could do a pretty big Blade Slice next turn if we found what's the card?
Blade Dance? Oh,
No, we
yeah, Twin Slice. Yeah, we have the Blade Dance. We might need to hit that. We can go well right now. That seems, I don't want to say like overextending, because what is the answer for your opponent for a Van Cleef, a Blade Dance? If he doesn't have that, okay, it doesn't solve the Van Cleef. But if he has that, it's just
this is gonna clear because the Soul Shear plus Blade Dance plus the trade is going to clear without the weapon having to attack.
And that is a big banish for Mokrani, right?
Yeah.
That Van Cleef only delivered 8 phase. It was cleared with also a Questionary Adventure. So, well, right now we can throw the second questing, but it's only a 4-4, and it will be traded by the second charge of the Marrow Slicer. And Otsuna made it through the mid game, and now he has double copy of a nice way of putting Rogue into check. That is the Social Lapidary, right? There's no healing in Rogue class, and well, oof. I like going face right here, using using the Shard Shatter Mystic allows you to throw 5 face damage to develop some minions. Because you need to solve that adventure.
I think we're doing the Shard Shatter Mystic to clear it.
Yeah.
You know, might use that to clear while it's still good, and then.
Mm-hmm. And I liked how Otsuna didn't play it into Plagiarize. He didn't just throw the Wand Maker over there, not giving Rogue any access to value. I like that. And just starting to set up lethal, because he knows he has 10 damage from hand with the Lapidaries. So it's only 5 damage away from closing the game.
Well, Rogue does now have 2 Soul Fragments, so can turn on that Shard Shatter Mystic and possibly gain some life.
Okay. Talking about Mystics. Okay, when your cards shine, you just play them, right? And a good thing is he has that Spirit Shaler to fuel with some more Soul Fragments, because he was starting to run out of them. But right now, how do we deal with this board that is threatening lethal?
We'll see what we draw. That's a secret passage.
Well, that might start being a way. You don't want to sub that, definitely. And look at that interaction. It's the same thing with bombs. When you draw them, they do not activate it, because it's just you replace your hand.
That's so weird.
Yeah. It's not actually drawing, so the spell doesn't activate. And right now, okay, another shard.
We have a Wand Thief.
Let's see, Vaporize is really good over there.
Yeah, but we have a secret. Right, so we can Blackjack Stunner. But you don't want to return the Lapidary, right? No.
Right, no. I mean, I guess you... Yeah, you keep the stunner. Oh, I like that. I really like this.
Oh, we return the Wand Thief. Okay, right. That makes sense.
Mokrani is understanding that he needs some extra value to close the game. And some extra damage might come in handy from that Wand Maker. Maybe next turn, but let's check. Okay, I mean, for Otsuna, it's going face, and now it's 13 off, but in check also.
Well, we did find the 2 Soul Fragments, which gained us, 4 more life, which might make a huge difference in this game. Otsuna only being able to do 5 this turn, and then we just have a Chaos Strike and a Wand Maker. If those don't turn up anything good, MokraniChile might be able to turn the corner.
I mean, there's a 5-5 on board.
Yeah. Well, Wand Thief is going to
gets an Apexive Blast, a Rolling Fireball to clear the whole board. But no, that's 5 mana. We only have 4.
We're mana short. I mean, we can Shadow Step this Wand Thief and play it again.
Okay, looking for some freezing effects, maybe.
I mean, MokraniChile took that Tome of Intellect. Like, the 5 mana things weren't good enough. We need something cheaper. There's a Combustion, but that doesn't take anything out.
On Cram Session doesn't is this for 2 mana there's nothing on your deck that gets the
Right.
thing solved, so I'm not
It's
sure
because
if
of Elf Intellect. Oh, there's a frost.
Whoa!
Oh, woo. All right, what do we get? And a mirror
Whoa,
image.
mirror
Oh my
image.
god. What
Is he
hit
pulling this
off of
off?
the gnomes? Oh my god. Okay, we have a Panthara for a redraw. That's nice.
Yeah, we had the one maker also maybe for a silence over there.
A Horde Pillager. I don't think that really does too much this turn though, because of those mirror images. Like, you're gonna
I
Chaos
mean,
Strike and
if
attack.
the one maker gets you a silence, you can just easily
Right.
deliver. And that Blade Dance.
That's gonna be lethal. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
What a
You can
game.
take all the cards you want, but right now I'm taking the last of your life points over here. Otsuna delivering, and we will start wondering what if right now. What if that Edwin Van Cleef came in turn 2, being a 10-10? Because Mokrani was not far away from lethal. So hitting an extra turn and hitting for 20 instead of for 8, well, could have been the game there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a thing, you know. I really wanted to see that 10-10 Edwin. I'm not sure like if there was another, you know, turning point in that game, something that we could have done differently. I think Mokrani played really well to hang in there.
Yes, the other thing we can start wondering if Mokrani didn't overextend with the first adventure when he had the Van Cleef in play. In order to have, he didn't have a nice refill. He was investing resources into that. That could have been handy for the next turn in case the Van Cleef got removed. Once he enabled, that he gave the opponent some extra time for drawing and for mana in order to get that clear. So that's also one thing we might want to just recap on that and then analyze if it wasn't better to hold a bit the horses and just have a better second wave over there.
All right, so Mokrani's got, or Otsuna can bring Stealth Rogue or Temple Mage. So what do you think?
I like the Rogue, actually. I think the Stealth Rogue goes better against the Secret Rogue because, as we said before, Rogue has one weakness that they don't have any defense against aggressive decks because they don't have any way of healing themselves. I remember on the old days when Galakron went out, some players even played a Cartooth Defender in order to get to their power point, to their powerful turns, to hang on there. But still, right now, that's not an option. The meta is really fast, and I guess the aggro version is faster. Unless, okay, if Mokrani again pulls an 8-8 Van Cleef in turn 3, well, that might change the tide.
Oh yeah, well let's see what our players decided on.
Let's see. And we're just jumping to game 2. And wow, is this a recap or what?
Yeah, but wait.
It's Van Cleef again. The coin, backstab, preparation, a secret.
Oh my god. Let's do it.
This has to be a turn 2 Van Cleef, I guess.
Yes, let's. Please do it.
And okay, now we play Dragon Horde, and next turn we top deck Vendetta. Can we dream about that at least? Okay. Mokrani really know how to shuffle, right?
Ooh, we got Lazul. I like that one. I like that one a lot. All right, so just not exposing that Sorcerer's Apprentice, just gonna ping face here. Smart choice.
Right.
Vendetta?
Sources is... Whoa! No, please, Backstar first. No, I wanted Backstar first for an extra 2-2 on the Van Cleef. I know it's probably not even useful because the Van Cleef might be froze for the rest of the game. But please allow the memes.
No, not. We gotta save the backstab. We gotta save the backstab. This just Vendetta lets us clean the lab partner up. Okay, happy with that. There's our 10-10 on turn 2. Nice, dirty tricks to refuel. Getting a 1 thief and a shadow step.
That's a nice catch.
Spellbender. All right, so
okay, with Pyro we can clear the Van Cleef. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Where are we getting 7 mana? Cult Neophyte protecting this Van Cleef too.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Then 1 thief here. Oh,
I
probably take the Draconic. No, why would I do that? No, just take the Deep Freeze.
Yes, I was thinking on maybe the mirror entity for next turn to play, but you have Lazul. You have like the thing about Deep Freeze is I don't imagine this game going to turn 8. That's the only thing that doesn't just sounds well on my head. Okay, honestly, as we were saying.
Honestly, my brain went to learn Draconic because it costs 1 mana. Then afterwards I was like, wait, that card doesn't do anything. My brain was in the same spot as you were, right?
But still, either card wouldn't have done anything because it was just game over there. The importance of Van Cleef on an early big Van Cleef, it's just makes a whole lot of a difference.
Yeah, and Otsuna not even trying. I think we had a magic trick there, right? Did we cast that?
Yes, he used Otsuna used it, but it didn't deliver a good answer in turn 3, as well as the 1 thief. But still, also with the cool Neophyte hitting there in that point where you were setting up for lethal, it's also a good thing of just not letting your opponent solve their bigger problem.
Well, I mean, not much to say about that game. We were looking for that 10-10 and it didn't work for MokraniChile the first time, but the second time we went for it and we got it. So
even the Vendetta, right? Even the Vendetta off the top, it was just so perfect.
We called that. That was awesome. All right, so ready for game 3.
Okay, this series it's a fast one, and we're starting to see the next game. Now we're facing a mirror game of Mage, and I like this Chimbala keep from Otsuna with the coin. On the other side, MokraniChile also keeps it and has 2 Sources Apprentice online in order to get some spicy combos, but not any good spells to throw with that or a Cyclone.
And a Mana Giant kind of awkward here, but able to do that. We're saving that Primordial Studies for the Chimbala turn. Makes sense.
What do you think about that Tempo Apprentice? I was not a fan on that with a 1/1 on board.
I'm not into that. I think the card's viable.
Yeah, you could have you force your opponent not to develop on turn 2 in order for you to throw that Chimbala. But still, I'm not that sure because you cannot even activate that Chimbala right now.
Yeah, like, don't have the cards for it.
And I like, I was.
Ew! Oh, that's so bad.
I'm just thinking about next turn for Otsuna. It's popping off turn. You have Chimbala, you have the coin, you have the apprentice, you have a bunch of cheap spells. You will end up having a full board of 5/5s. I mean, not a full board, but at least 1 proc and maybe 2, depending on how the magic trick works and delivers. But it's a nice push from Otsuna, and there's nothing really good from MokraniChile to respond.
No, and can't even get anything off of this Chimbala.
Okay,
Like, we're
as we
just
were
gonna
saying.
trade into this lab partner.
Yes, and this is one of the tricky things about this deck.
Mhm.
Mokrani, you choose to go for Shambhala without spells in hand. You cannot depend much on that. You might want to go for the more consistent plan. Maybe Primordial Size on 1, Spell Power Minion on 2, trying
Mhm.
to gain some time on that might have been useful. Now we're seeing that Otsuna is devolving missiles, throwing devolving missiles, which
Magic
is
Dart Frog.
yeah.
I mean, it might do something if we didn't die, but definitely gonna die.
I mean, there are
There's a
no spells
cycle.
on MokraniChile hand. Okay, and where are the spells? That's the problem over
There's
here.
one. You just play it. You play the cards you have. I guess not. I guess we're gonna go with that. We found a
Okay.
Solarium. All
You
right, we
see,
can
imagine
clear
if
up.
in turn 2 you throw a Solarium on board instead of an apprentice. You have
Oh,
an
and
extra apprentice in hand. Well, but he could have discovered it because those premier studies were from turn
right,
one,
right.
and
Yeah,
and now we're having an extra proc from Chambala,
yeah.
or maybe two extra procs if we start thinking about it.
Yeah, this cram session. Try to draw a card.
And we can just
Trick.
oh, you said cram session?
Yeah, we could have a second cram session.
Yeah,
We could just
exactly.
go all night.
And how important is when the Sorcerer's Apprentice sticks, right?
Hmm.
How much mana is Otsuna
It's brutal.
playing this turn? Even
Evocation.
Evocation.
Oh jeez.
I mean, you can save Evocation for next turn because you get your second proc right here. And you don't.
Right.
I mean, you don't need a fourth proc, right?
No.
Or maybe, well, maybe we do it just because we
Why
can.
not? Like,
Oh
just,
my god! How? Look at that! It's
what?
really cheap Evocation.
Oh my god! Look
How
at all
many
this.
cards is he gonna play?
We're
This might
roping.
be lethal, and we didn't even just checked.
But we have to play that cram session. Hurry up and get that cram session on. There we go.
Oh.
Another cram session.
And
Oh
look
my
at this
god.
board. Look at this board full of 5/5s. That Shambhala did put his work, and also that Sorcerer Apprentice enabling this nice combo. Right now, I don't imagine a way. The only way I imagine is Arcane Breath, Mana Cyclone, Frost Nova, and leave another turn, but just not even solve anything on the board.
Yeah. That's a flame horde. Doesn't do it. Swatsuna gets the win with Temple Mage in the mirror. So going up to 2-1, and Atsuna just left with Stealth Rogue. So
Otsuna
Makrani's
just left with Death Rogue. It's a nice deck for facing a kind of combo tempo deck like Mage. We see
right.
how the Rogue behave against Mage the last game. I was not very pleasant for Mage.
Well, we also have Soul Demon Hunter on Makrani's side, so maybe that's what you want to bring into this matchup. Trying to use those board wipes like Shard Shatter Mystic and Blade Dance to be able to take out those annoying stealth minions, right? Like, I feel like that's what you want to bring here, and then try to get that Tempo Mage win in Game 5, right?
Yeah. That's might be the way you wanna just set yourself comfortable, just and try to put the pressure on your opponent right now.
Not
You might want to choose your best deck in order
Mhm.
to also to make your tiebreakers better because
Right,
every win matters.
right. Like, if you win 3-0 versus 3-2, it's super, super important. Because once we stop looking at game wins, then we start looking at game losses. And if you finish with, say, 18 wins and 10 losses, but the next person wins with 18 and 11 losses, you're going to get a better
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
That is right, and that's that's why every game is important right here. And on that side, it's a bit different from normal conquest because you want to win every game or as much games as possible. Losing 3-0 is not good, not only for the loss but for the tiebreaker. So I guess we might see Mokrani bringing that Soul Demon Hunter into play in order to trying to force a fifth game.
All right, let's see. Let's see what they decide on.
Let's see what they decide on. On Otsuna side, as we already know, only the rogue.
Ooh, going with mage. Okay. Now we have a hand, right?
Yes. Vital Spellwing is important for turn 1, one maker for turn 2. Then you have Cram Sessions and Sorcerer's Apprentice. I like, and this might be even a full keep.
I think so. Like Spellwing is really good in this matchup with all the X1 stealth minions too. Gives us a way to clear those. Decided to throw away the Cram Session, which I guess without any spell damage minions makes sense. I think. We've got a Mana Giant, so that's not going to come online for like a little while. There's that spell.
Yes. Still some early turn plays that are really important for Mokrani.
It's a nice neophyte for Otsuna. You can play it on curve here. Probably isn't going to do too much there.
The problem with playing it on curve is that you don't.
But you play right into the
hero power. Okay, you don't let your opponent do anything, but still, it does something and it's good, which is trading damage for cards. Right. You could have use your hero power to take care of that minion over there.
Right. And you still have that extra one dagger left too.
So exactly. And now the 50-50. It needs to miss 3 times in a row in order to Mokrani not to clear it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
whoa!
God. It wasn't really a 50-50 though, right? Yeah.
It was a 1 in 9 for not clearing actually. No, I mean 1 in 9 or 1 in 6 for not clearing.
Yeah,
There were 3 50-50s involved. And now
right? That would be it.
Yeah, we just throw the
math lesson here with Aspirant. Trying to get our percentages right.
And a nice developing of that question adventure that was not answered the turn before. Right now, I'm not sure how will this work.
Those 2 spellkins are looking mighty awkward in that hand too. I mean, we have an Arcane Breath, so maybe that's the payoff. I think we just got to play that Sorcerer's Apprentice here and just start doing things. Because we want to get that Mana Giant out, right?
Yes, I'm not sure about the Sorcerers, but I'm sure about the Arcane Breath and trying to solve that adventure. Because if we do not solve this right now, it won't be solved ever.
Arcane Explosion is going to be pretty nice into that Jandis. Although Shadow Step is probably going to just bounce it. We still get to clear that.
I'm not sure what to take. I'm inclined to take Cram Sessions right here because our hand as it is doesn't solve what we're facing. But still, well, the Azure Explorer.
Yeah, the Azure Explorer is fine, but it's slow.
Yeah, that's the problem. 4 mana. Okay, 3 mana is better, and maybe you keep it to combo for next turn with the Arcane Explosion. Well, yeah, maybe not.
This is rough because Jandis and then Shadow Step is going to be another.
Oh,
I mean,
and also the good cards for Otsuna.
Really good.
Reborn minion and Death Rattle minion.
Yeah, right. Like I think that's one of the best Jandises I've seen.
I
That's
know
another.
Mokrani's side, there is still no answers. He's praying for some frost, for some way of freezing the board. He might be facing lethal this same turn, if I'm not counting wrong.
We needed a ray of frost off that Spellkin to coin out, right? Now Ash
Yeah,
does 3 more damage to this. Oh, that's
eviscerate another 4.
Oh my god. I missed that thing was stealth. The Wasteland
Man,
Strangler.
it's
And that's just,
incredible.
oh my
That's
god.
game, and it was just an overkill. And that's
There's
amazing how.
7 extra damage. Wow,
Yeah,
that was a quick game. Otsuna just really putting
yeah,
together a 6 win there, and Mokrani
yeah,
not able to put too much of a defense up.
yeah. Yeah,
I guess.
Mokrani during the week might start trying to pick his game up also with the wand, right? Those arcane missiles missed 3 times in a row. We must say that the game would have been a lot different if Mokrani was able to clear that adventure in turn 3.
Yeah, just rolled a D8 and critical make. Ugh.
It's just no
Yeah.
good, and on that point onwards, that adventure delivered like almost 12 or 15 damage at least. So that is a tough point, a tough spot to be on. And okay, we kind of like understand what happened to Mokrani. It was not bad decisions. It was just not the best outcomes over there. Even though we criticize some calls on games on the games that he lost, because that Van Cleef was not played right against Demon Hunter or some other calls. He did show that he was up to the circumstances, and I like that. And he has a lot of way to go, right? Because this is just week 4. He has some other games to play, and he is still one of the top players of his division.
Yeah, so he's 3-1 right now in his 5-0. So there's definitely some space to clear for Mokrani. Otsuna didn't get their bye yet, so Mokrani is still like a game and a half behind Otsuna. Yeah,
You don't need okay, maybe at this time it's just to think about just making to playoff, not just winning the division. There are other ways just besides winning the division. Also, it's really nice to win the division because you get an extra win for the playoffs, and that gets you a lot closer to the prize, to the big prizes and to the finals. But still, as long as you are on in the run, you're still playing, and that is what Mokrani needs to think in this time. And for Otsuna, okay, time to celebrate. A nice game, a nice and sharp execution also, and some flexibility and some room for error in the next rounds, because 5-0 is one of the best scores. Well, one of the best scores, no, the best scores you can get along 5 weeks.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure next time you see Mokrani, you're gonna tell him about that Edwin turn.
Yeah, for sure. The next time I cross you, why not a 10-10 on turn 2 and just leaving an 8-8 for turn 3? That's didn't sound right, but at least okay. I understand the way of thought. It was not just a plain error. It was just another approach for the game. He wanted to have some resources for the questing adventure, and that is fine. It didn't have working up well, but still, it was a line of play. It was not just a blunt error like an order mistake or just a bad call or a lethal. It was just a different approach for the game. That's not the one I would have taken, but still, it might be understandable over there.
All right, well, that's all we have for today for our week 4 broadcast. We'll be back next week at same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain, with our week 5 coverage. We also have, like I said before, if you're interested in finding out more about our league, how you can join next season, you can join our Discord. The link is in our bio below. You can also follow us on Twitter and YouTube at Aspirant CCG. We post all of our updates there. Make sure you subscribe to us on Twitch as well. Get notifications every time I go live. And we have our Magic coverage every Friday night
Mm.
at 9 p.m. with our Venus and Mercury League, featuring some of the best female and non-binary players in the world.
Yes, a big shout out to Mr. Gnome for producing this broadcast. Also, thank you, Rogish, for having me, and Anna for this nice casting. It's always nice to be here with you and trying and not to. Besides English not my first language, trying to give and tell you over there watching this stream my passion for Hearthstone. That is one of my comfort zones. Maybe English is not that like as good as I would like, but I'm comfortable in Hearthstone, so that helps me just pushing my boundaries. And we thank you for watching us. And if you want to just be up to date with everything that happens, you can check also the website, as you said, aspirant.gg. We have all the information there, and also give us just you can follow the channel and activate the notifications in order to be to be up whenever we start broadcasting.
All right. And thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great night out there and stay safe. Take care. Good night.